My name is Anne Plant. I'm a teacher of mathematics from Birmingham.
I'm Les Thwaites, a warrant officer in the Army Physical Training Corps, based near Reading, Berkshire.
My name is Julie Gibson. I'm a journalist working in Hartlepool, Cleveland.
I'm Rob Wakefield, an actuarial trainee from Leeds in Yorkshire.
Good evening, welcome to the Krypton Factor. Tonight it's the last heat in Group B. Whoever wins it will go into next week's group final. And we also know that if tonight's second place contestant scores more than 36 points, then he or she will get there too as the group's best runner-up. So, lots of incentive for tonight's contestants, not forgetting, of course, the chance to fly to California to land the American space shuttle in the world's most sophisticated simulator, if one of these four contestants can progress to the grand final in November. So let me now wish Anne Plant, Les Thwaites, Julie Gibson and Rob Wakefield the very best of luck for tonight's 6 tough rounds. And contestants, would you now please put on your headphones in preparation for round 1, mental agility. And tonight it's the numerical date challenge. I will give each contestant a series of dates, like for instance August the 29th. The task is to convert that date into single digits so that August, being the 8th month of the year, becomes 8 and the 29th becomes a 2 and 9 separately. Then those numbers must be rearranged into ascending order to give the answer 2, 8, 9. That's how it works. So are you all ready, contestants? We're going to begin with you, Anne. You've got 40 seconds to get as many right as you can and your time starts now. February the 14th.
124.
May the 23rd.
235.
October the 28th.
0128.
December the 30th.
0123.
January the 25th, 87.
12578.
November the 9th, 36.
11369.
June the 17th, 58.
15678.
March the 19th, 45.
13459.
August the 21st, 65.
12568.
April the 13th, 76.
13467.
September the 16th, 24.
12469.
Right. In 40 seconds, that's an absolutely brilliant score, Anne. You've got 11. Very well done indeed. Great way to start the contest for you, and we'll now move along to Les. Stand by, Les. Your 40 seconds start now. January the 24th.
124.
April the 18th.
148.
November the 30th.
What's it? Sorry, 0113.
December the 26th.
1226.
February the 17th, 84.
1246.
You're wrong. May the 14th, 37.
13457.
October the 5th, 48.
01458.
Well, I'm afraid you were right, but the buzzer came in just at the end and the rule is you must have completed it. So, in fact, you've got 5, which is still a good start, Les. Well done. Let's move along now to Julie. Stand by, Julie. Your 40 seconds start now. June the 14th.
146.
September the 25th.
259.
December the 31st.
1123.
October the 29th.
0129.
January the 23rd, 65.
12356.
April the 17th, 39.
13479.
February the 15th, 86.
12568.
November the 3rd, 58.
11358.
August the 24th, 47.
24478.
March the 16th, 72.
12367.
July the 18th, 35.
Pass.
Right, well, you didn't need to pass. It would have been 13578. But in 40 seconds, you've got an incredible 10. Very well done indeed. That's marvellous. And we shall move down finally to Rob. Stand by, Rob. Your 40 seconds start now. July the 24th.
247
April the 18th,
148
October the 27th,
0127
November the 30th,
0113
March the 17th, 85,
pass.
August the 21st, 47,
12478
January the 29th, 75,
12579
May the 13th, 28,
12358
December the 4th, no need to go on with that one, in 40 seconds, another good start, you got 7 right, well done. Well, brilliant performances there, I'm sure you'll agree, and among the best scores of the series. Let's see how it works out in points, though. 10 points, 6, 4 and 2 for first, second, third and fourth. And we go to the scoreboard, and there we are. In fourth place, Les, third, Rob, second, Julie, but the early leader with a Krypton Factor of 10, the teacher from Edgbaston, Birmingham, Anne Plant. In round 2, we challenge our contestants to take on the role of a Boeing 737 pilot and land the plane at one of the world's major airports. They'll make the attempt in the £8 million British Caledonian flight training simulator at Gatwick. First to go, Birmingham teacher Anne Plant, and the approach is into Geneva Airport. But that pilot's eye view of the runway spells trouble. It should be directly ahead, so Anne has failed to respond to that flight director instrument directly in front of her. And to her right, the throttles and flaps are being set by Captain Brian Long, the chief pilot instructor. But it's the direction and height that's the problem, and that's all down to Anne. In real trouble now, in fact, pulling the nose up too far and heading up into the sky. And that's the sound of a stall. She pushes the control column forward and desperately looks to Captain Long, but he's not allowed to help, and there's no way out for Anne. A real pity, but that's a disaster. Now, can the Army Warrant Officer Les Thwaites do better? Well, that looks pretty good already. The runway directly ahead and a very steady approach. And like the others, Les had a brief period of instruction from Captain Long, then 2 practice runs. But this is the one that counts. And doing very well indeed. Coming in over the runway, virtually on the centre line. Mustn't let the nose drop too far, and that's perfectly done. And now working with his feet on the rudders to try and keep a straight line in this rollout. And that's an excellent performance by Les Thwaites. Couldn't do much better. Now sports journalist Julie Gibson at the controls. And there's the runway ahead, but she's much too high at the moment and pushing forward on the control column to try and lose height fairly rapidly. Starting to veer off to the left, and this doesn't look good at all. I don't think she's going to make the main runway. Down she goes. And, well, the warning system's telling her to pull back on the control column to get the nose up, and she hits the runway. But they're very sturdy planes, these 737s, and she hasn't crashed, though she's heading off now somewhere in the direction of the terminal building. Well, certainly exciting. And finally, it's Rob Wakefield from Leeds looking tense, and he has drifted to the left of the runway. So although he has to bank right now, he must be careful not to overcorrect. But time's running out to get back in line. Not a bad effort, though, controlling it well. Going over towards the runway. Now he's got a bank left again, so he's got a lot of work to do here. Can he get it down? It's a very brave attempt, and he touches down on the runway, goes off onto the grass, but at least he is down safely. Now the result decided by Captain Long, for 25 years a British Airways pilot. In fourth place, Anne Plant, never in line with the runway and finally stalled. Third, Julie Gibson, whose flight ended somewhere inside the arrivals lounge. Second, Rob Wakefield, who landed on the runway but went onto the grass. And the winner, Les Thwaites, an excellent approach and perfect landing. So the points won there go into the scoreboard, and it's all very close. Julie and Rob on 10, but joint leaders now on Krypton Factors of 12. Still there, Birmingham's Anne Plant, and joining her, the Army's Les Thwaites. Round 3 is the observation challenge. Can you spot the 6 deliberate continuity errors that occur in just the one screening of our specially shot video sketch? Keep your eyes on details in the costumes and scenery, and listen very carefully to the way we handle specific pieces of information. So, contestants, turn now to your screens, please, and concentrate very hard as we go down under to join Steve Coogan and special guest, Lisa Goddard.
It's a great honour to have you visit our prison, Your Royal Highness, especially on such a busy solo tour down under. Actually, we're thinking of renaming this particular wing after you.
Splendid. I suppose instead of cell block H, it'll be called cell block HRH.
But I must warn you, sir, there's a lot of excitement about. I don't like it. The inmates are restless. You've probably already had a hint of it from some of our precious charges.
Yes, I was chatting to Violet, Rose, and Daisy.
Ah, cooks in the prison refectory?
No, flowers in the prison garden.
Pay attention, girls. You have a very special guest speaker for this Friday afternoon's architecture course. That'll do, Terry, thank you. Any trouble, sir, and I'll be right outside.
Splendid, splendid. Good afternoon, ladies. Or as they're probably saying in London at this very moment, good 3:30 in the morning. Yes.
Hey, Mr. Prince. Is it true you're an expert on architecture and all that?
Well, as I was saying to Diana last night in the hotel in Sydney, amazingly, some people do seem to take notice of my opinions in Britain.
Good. Because now that Miss Davidson's left the room, we can let you into a little secret.
Super.
You see, over the last few Friday mornings during these courses, we've dreamed up an architectural embellishment for the prison. And we'd like you to help us turn our idea into reality.
Certainly, anything to bring a little joy back into our modern lifestyles.
Good. It'll do that, all right.
What is it?
An escape tunnel. Get digging.
That's the lot. Turn to the front, please, contestants, and will you start to write down what you think the 6 continuity errors were. And with them all furiously scribbling away, I'd like to say a special thank you to Lisa Goddard and Steve Coogan, of course. And now let's take a look at just where those 6 continuity errors occurred. Number 1 was the stuffed kangaroo, clearly visible at the start of the sketch, but missing soon afterwards. Then a dialogue error. Miss Davidson called this a solo royal tour.
Especially on such a busy solo tour down under.
But the prince was obviously not alone.
Well, as I was saying to Diana last night in the hotel in Sydney.
Then a costume change. Miss Davidson had a plain jacket on in the first scene, but she was wearing a brooch when she came into the recreation room. Terry's sign was deliberate mistake number 4. It was the right way up some of the time, but not all of the time. Then another dialogue error.
You have a very special guest speaker for this Friday afternoon's architecture course.
But B didn't agree with afternoons.
Over the last few Friday mornings...
And finally, another costume change. At first, the number on B's dungarees was 12421, but later on it was 21421. Well, not easy by any means. These are the contestants' answers, all marked now, so let's tell them how they did. Anne, you got 3 right. Rob, you also got 3, so you two share 3rd place. Les, you spotted 4 changes, and so too did Julie, the journalist. So the 2 of you are joint winners of the round. And immediately we shall feed those points into the scoreboard. And there we are, there's Julie clear in 2nd place with 20. And there's a clear leader now with a Krypton Factor of 22. It's Reading's Les Thwaites. For round 4, we go out to the assault course, where our contestants face a test of fitness, stamina, agility and courage. 20 tough obstacles of varying shapes and sizes packed together down 450 yards of Lancashire moorland. Starting the race, the Army Physical Training Corps' Major Tony Carr.
Take your marks!
Taking advantage of the handicapped system, nearest to us, Anne Plant from Birmingham. On the far side, Julie Gibson from Hartlepool, Cleveland. But Anne Plant here, tremendously fit. She's represented Great Britain at canoeing for many years. Keen cyclist, she cycles for the Warwickshire Road Club and is ranked 59 in Great Britain. So she's got great strength in her legs and great upper body strength as well. So we're expecting great things of her on this assault course. The men who are waiting on the line know exactly what they have to do. But Les Thwaites, nearest to us, is an Army physical training instructor, so there's no doubting his ability on the assault course as Julie Gibson goes down, I think, for the second time on that rope swing. But look at Les Thwaites nearest to us, shooting along there, and Rob Wakefield in the far side trying to stay with him. But Les is a tremendously fit man. There you see the style going over that 6-foot wall, chasing Anne Plant here, and he is cutting down the lead. Just beautiful style all the way. Rob Wakefield hanging in there as well. But can Anne Plant hang on here? She knows how fast Les is behind her. She saw him in training and she knows what she has to do, but she is very fit indeed. And it's a question, of course, of whether Les Thwaites has misjudged it at the start, because he did start off very fast indeed. So has he got the strength at the finish? But you can see him climbing up there. He's within a few feet now of Anne Plant. So it's been a brilliant run so far by Les. But can he sustain it? And of course, it's important not to make mistakes on the obstacles. And in fact, Les makes one there. So that's given Anne Plant some hope. She pulled up a few yards there into the first of the water jumps. Now has she the strength to get up the inverted V? Indeed she has. So there's plenty of stamina there, guts and determination. And if anything, she's opening out now towards the end. She's really giving it all she's got, responding to the competition from Les Thwaites. And Les, though, is coming back on her now as they go up to that Burma rope bridge. There's not very much in it, maybe just a couple of strides. And Les, you can be sure those huge strides will be closing even more. In fact, he's almost on her now as they come up to the platform. Hands into the safety loops. And they're going to set off virtually together down the aerial slide. Here they go then down to the lake at the bottom. And it's going to be so important how they land here. And up go those legs, and Anne really gets the legs high, and she makes several yards there. You can see how much further in front of Les she landed, so that's given her the advantage now, and Les begins to fall coming out of the water. So can Anne hold on here as she goes under that flat net? Les's strength will mean a lot here. Can Anne hold on? And she's doing that brilliantly. Anne's style is magnificent under that flat net, and she comes charging across the line for a magnificent victory. Magnificent 10 points to Anne Plant. Les had caught her there, but it was really the stamina, the guts, the determination and the technique that got Anne Plant home. But what a battle between the two of them. And here's the man, Rob Wakefield. He couldn't live with that sort of competition, but he's hung in well to be third. Julie will be fourth. Oh dear, that's nasty. But she picks herself up. She's not hurt at all. She's even got a smile on her face. But it's Rob Wakefield here who's going to come home in third place. A gallant run. He can hardly stay upright, and he's delighted to finish, and he gets 4 points. Now, how has that result affected the overall situation? Well, Anne Plant has moved up into second place, just 2 points behind the leader, who with a Krypton Factor of 28 is still the Army's Les Thwaites. Still wide open as we move into the fifth of our 6 rounds, and this is the one contestants will admit to losing most sleep over. A 3-dimensional logic puzzle. In front of the contestants are various pieces relating to 13 tubular bells. The task is to assemble the bells and place them in the frame so that their lengths are in escalating order to correspond with the 13 notes of the chromatic scale. Are you all ready, contestants? The test starts now.
Anne Plant immediately takes the practical step of arranging the tubular sections in size order and hangs the longest one at the end. And indeed, the logical opening move is to try and get the shortest or longest bell in position first so that you have a reference point. The problem then is to discover the right pairings, for as you can see, you join one tube with another to try and achieve the varying lengths. Julie seemingly doing well. I say seemingly because it's impossible to tell until near the end. If she's made an incorrect pairing, then she won't have the right pieces to complete the task. Now the first 4 from the right look good, but that one's clearly wrong. And in second place, going into the round, trying to work it out first on the table before hanging them, but you can see the problem. At least one of those pairings must be wrong. Les Thwaites, contest leader, Knows that 10 points here would put him in a very strong position going into the last round. And again, he appears to be doing well, but we can't be certain yet. Certainly the progression was good there. Rob in 4th place overall, desperately needs maximum points here. And Julie, well, so near and yet so far. What a nightmare this one is for the contestants. Although maybe Les Thwaites doesn't agree, because this could be the winner. It all depends on those last two. Will they form the necessary length? Yes, indeed they do. And the Army physical training instructor gets the 10 points. Brilliantly done. Now, can Rob Wakefield get 2nd place? Certainly looks like it. Yes, he does it. 6 points to the man from Leeds, and he needed those. Now, who's going to get 3rd place? Is it Anne, who has worked so logically and methodically? Or Julie, who looked for a time as though she might win? And I think it's going to be Anne. Is that the right length? Yes, 3rd place to the maths teacher and 4 points.
Well, congratulations to Les on winning a very tricky test. The question now is, have all those points rung the changes in the scoreboard? Let's have a look. There we are. Rob has moved up to joint 3rd, but increasing his advantage to 8 points with a Krypton Factor of 38. The leader is Army PTI Les Thwaites. So into the 6th and final round, and 2 chances for our contestants to reach next week's group final. The winner will go through, so too will the runner-up if he or she can beat 36 points. Those are your targets, contestants. Here we go with 100 seconds of rapid-fire general knowledge questions. 2 points for the right answer, but 2 deducted for a wrong one. The clock starts now. What historically do we call the period from 1811 to 1820 when George III was no longer capable of ruling? Answer is the Regency. Which London street parallel to Regent Street is world famous for men's tailoring? Julie.
Savile Row.
Correct. Who wrote Lord Arthur Savile's Crime, An Ideal Husband, and The Importance of Being Earnest? Oscar Wilde. Who won the Oscar for Best Actress this year in The Accused, playing a rape victim? Rob.
Jodie Foster.
Correct. Which creature in legend was foster mother to Romulus and Remus, founders of Rome? Answer is a wolf. Wolfram is another name for which metal used for filaments in lamps? Anne.
Tungsten.
Correct. In the classic tongue twister, who picked a peck of pickled peppers? Julie.
Peter Piper.
Correct. Which company operated the Piper Alpha oil rig which exploded in July 1988, its name meaning Western? Answer is Occidental, too late. Oxford, Court, Loafer and Pump are varieties of what article of wear? Julie.
Shoes.
Correct. In cookery, choux pastry is used to make which small round buns filled with sweet or savoury mixtures? Anne.
Eclairs.
No, profiteroles. Which Old Testament prophet refused to pray to King Darius and was cast into a den of lions? Julie.
Daniel.
Correct. Who preceded Dan Quayle as Vice President of the United States? Julie.
George Bush.
Correct. Which knights followed Bushido as their code of practice in Japan? Les.
Samurai.
Correct. Which Greek philosopher born on Samos? End of the round, end of the contest. The winner tonight with an excellent Krypton Factor of 40. The Army Physical Training Instructor from Reading, Les Thwaites. And, of course, our warmest congratulations to Les on a very fine victory there. And we now know the full lineup for next week's Group B final. And this is it. From Heat 1, Bolton's Warren Mason. The Heat 2 winner, Phil Smith from Hereford. Tonight's winner, of course, Les Thwaites. And the highest scoring runner-up was Fiona Palmer from Ilkeston in Derbyshire from Heat 2. From all the contestants here and from me, good night.
Well, we swapped fixed wing for rotor blades next as a simulator test as to land a Sea King helicopter on the deck of a moving ship. Bring that on, but I think I'll pass on the mental agility. The Krypton Factor is next.